Summrs is probably one of the most controversial, interesting, influential rappers who also happens to have one of the weirdest transformations I've ever seen. Some people will swear he's trash and others will call him the GOAT. And Summrs' evolution is a complicated one. This guy has one of the best discographies, hands down, and memes aside, his consistency is scary. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how I got into Summrs' music, walk you through the evolution of Summrs with some rare info, and share my personal thoughts along the way. And at the end, I'll talk about his influence. Alright, I first found Summrs through his song Coke. I know, kinda basic. I found it right when it dropped. It was on my recommended in SoundCloud. And I'd heard of the Summrs guy before, but I hadn't exactly checked out his music. I'm gonna be honest, I thought he looked a little weird. I remember some guy was making fun of his dreads on Twitter for being so short. When I heard Coke, it immediately got in the rotation of songs I listened to till I get bored of. The beat was weird but fire, and the song was just hard. It was also produced by Isaiah TG and Can. He also later said that he lied, he never did Coke, which I don't know what's worse, lying about doing Coke or doing Coke. Coca-Cola, by the way, the drink, you know. And pretty soon I started to check out his other stuff. At the time, his most popular song or song that was trending was Test Some, and I thought it was really good. And what made people really like his music and his stuff stand out to most people around that time were his vocals. They had this cool effect he'd put on them, and some of the other members of Slay World, the rap collective he's a part of, used it all the time. Isaiah TG, Can, you know. The other music of his that I really liked were his weirder rap songs that you just never hear anywhere else. I don't know if it was the beats or his vocal preset. Songs like Get 'Em Gone and Tor Browser. Literally no one other than his collaborators were making music like that at all at the time. And from then on, I became a fan of Summrs. And over the next couple of years, I became a really big fan of his music. It took me a while to get really into his Plug and B stuff because he dropped a lot of rap that year. 4 albums back to back: Better Left Alone, World Against Me, Evolved, and Isolation. All really good projects, but he also dropped a lot of singles and some of them were pretty big for him, like Sorry, Coke, No Deal, and more. His image during this time was much different as well. He cared about fashion more, he didn't wear the same black shirt every day. And that's, I guess, when you can say he looked the coolest. Not that I care. He just had a cool look. But what made me go from a fan to a really big fan was his Plug and B stuff, because most of it is insanely good. It really goes all the way back to when he was Louis VD. That was his old name back in the day, where he was just singing a lot. Most of it isn't really good. There's some gems there though. Nowadays, this one song called Pack Runner, which I'll speak more on later, is considered his first Plug and B song, and actually the first Plug and B song ever. But he has tons of songs where he's just singing on regular plug beats, and I don't know why no one ever talks about it. For example, this one song, Me and You, it was made back in 2016. It's his most popular old song as well. It's a love song for his ex-girlfriend. That technically is Plug and B to me, alright, at least I feel like it. Just listen to the song and decide for yourself. Back then, when he was Louis VD, first making music, he was just a regular kid. Like most kids actually. You can probably relate to a lot of this stuff. He was a gamer on Xbox, playing games all kids play, like Call of Duty and 2K. That's actually how he got into music. He started recording off of his gaming headset. He was just doing whatever he could, I guess. He was making edits of Bad Baby, the Cash Me Outside girl. That's what she was known as at the time. To his music, clickbaiting Doo-Wop Kane and Lil Yachty to get views, and even making dance videos. The channel is actually still up. You can go see them for yourself if you'd like. And Summrs was pretty good at dancing. He wasn't trash or anything, even at trick shotting. He was pretty good. What really surprised me when I started doing the research for the main video was that he was a huge fan of Doo-Wop Kane. So much so that he even drew a fan art of him in Lil Candy Paint. And I played it in the first video, but I'm just gonna play it again.
I really started music from Doo-Wop. Like, I heard his song and I was like, what the f***? This nigga gets and I wanted to make music because I saw him doing it. Shit was easy.
So he started making music because of Doo-Wop, which is crazy if you think about it now. I don't even think Doo-Wop knows that or he's ever mentioned it since, and they've never collaborated. He also has a Lil Tracy remix called Fat Cake, back when Lil Tracy was young bruh. Another interesting fact to me is he's been doing music since he was a kid and living off of it since he was a kid. He's never had a job. He's always just made money at the bare minimum from features and reposts, which on a real note is pretty cool. If we're being honest, we'd all want to live off of what we love. But 2018 was when Summrs really started producing quality music. It started from his Christmas tape and really from Pack Runner, which is considered the first Plug and B song. An amazing song, by the way. But before I get into that, I'm just gonna give a quick disclaimer. Technically, Corey Lingo and Texaco were kind of doing it before, and Zangang made the beat. But if we're being honest, people were not really listening to Corey Lingo like that, even though he makes great music and his new stuff is cool too. So Summrs made that song off of a perk and accidentally started a subgenre, or at this point, a whole genre. That album also features another one of my favorite songs by Summrs, Off the Chest, which is produced by Cash Bentley. In 2018, Summrs' voice sounded different. I mean, everyone does when they're younger, but I'm talking about the way he mixed his music. And the type of plug-and B he was making was euphoric, which is different from what he's making now, even though the music is good. His voice was just a lot more of a focal point in the songs, and he was really singing with a lot of autotune as well. Listen to songs like Off My Chest, We Are Special, Feel at Home, and the entirety of Revived. Pretty much a decent chunk of 2018, and you'll know what I mean. It's like that one Twitter meme, he was special.
He was special.
No pun intended. That year was also when he dropped the Bell World tapes. The music itself was really good, especially Bell World 2, but the actual details from the background of the situation are a lot more interesting in my opinion. Summrs was making a lot of romantic music back then, and it was all inspired by Belle, his girlfriend. Belle was the reason Plug and B in today's form is even a thing, but unfortunately she cheated on him with his best friend, and she actually even has a song with Summrs called Held It Down. The song is still up on SoundCloud too. It was like some first love type stuff, and I guess like any relationship, there were ups and downs. So not only were the good moments an inspiration for Summrs' music, so were the bad moments, and you can hear the emotion in his voice, which is kind of corny, but it's true. I feel like at the time, Summrs, who's always been open, put a little too much out on the internet. There's actually an Instagram live of Summrs kicking Belle out of his apartment. She's telling him to shut up, and he's just playing some video game, and then he just tells her to get lost.
I don't have to stop talking. This is my crib. I have to stop talking to me and go the home.
Wow, it's what? 11:34.
You talking about you got a bag? Go home.
I ain't had no bag.
Okay then. So stop saying you got a bag. Like,
ain't nobody said I had a bag. What the do you be hearing whenever people talk?
I hear dumbass from
Exactly.
dumbass. Exactly. Stop saying dumb.
Comments are kind of funny. Kankan commented Bell World 3 intro, and Dom Corleo is even in the live. Devotion, another one of his albums, became another one of his classic tapes, as well as Revived. Revived is probably his best project, by the way. Definitely the best plug and B project ever. The whole concept behind Revived was after the fake overdose, which I spoke about in the main video. What he's trying to say was he got revived in the hospital after he overdosed. He didn't actually overdose though. Songs like Cathedral and The Boss on that album are crazy good. You should go listen to them. He was also collaborating with Wyland in 2018. That's when they made Scene. They actually had the same manager and they used to copy gimmicks and were both quote-unquote pack runners. Wyland came up with that, and that's where the name Pack Runner and Pack Runner Bitch came from. Scene is one of their rare collabs and it's pretty fire. I honestly wish they worked more. They were just really good friends, and Summrs even later said that Wyland put him on to a bunch of clothing brands. Autumn was one of his close collaborators as well, and Summrs and him pioneered Plug and B. They were friends in real life though, through the internet, and they have a lot of music together. Autumn even admitted in the beginning he was just copying Summrs. By the way, Autumn's real name is Benjamin, which is, I don't know, he just doesn't look like a Benjamin to me. I already spoke about 2019 when he was mostly rapping and heavily affiliated with Slay World. That year, he really started to gain some popularity and signed a deal with Victor. And although he might have had bad communication or something with the label, I don't know, that deal not working out, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say it really wasn't his fault. Everyone thought he was gonna blow up that year, or not blow up, get much bigger, but he wasn't ready yet and the label wasn't allowing him to drop music, which is why his album Intoxicated took so long to drop. 2020 was pretty quiet as well. He wasn't able to drop a project because of his label. It's mostly other stuff not regarding his music I want to talk about. At the end of the year or very early 2021, I forget, Summrs had some allegations. One to do with him having messages with someone underage, and also him and Kankan doing something to a girl in her Airbnb. These allegations were the start of his toxic fan base in my opinion, and the incessant hate that came towards him. I'm not saying he's some saint or sure if those are real or not, but the amount of hate he'd get on all platforms and just weird comments that had nothing to do with that started from that era. The Slay World fans. That whole era was crazy. That was when the Gabby situation happened and Summrs went viral for it. She still gets comments about it and fans on Reddit will not leave her alone. At this point I feel bad because as Summrs has grown in popularity, more and more people have found out about it, and it just added to the weird fans he has who harass her about it. She even made a Reddit to speak about it, but I mean, he did break his window. He also moved in with Kankan in 2019, I believe, and at the time he made fun of Kankan for spitting seeds and called him a bird.
Like, me and Kan used to stay fighting, bro. Like,
right? He's dirty up the crib.
Yes, bro. Spitting seeds everywhere and shit. Like, you a bird.
No, boy, bro.
Spitting seeds, though. Like, the fuck, this nigga bird. Like, tripping.
I'm fucking dead, man. KK is funny, bro.
Which might seem kind of random, like why are you bringing this up? But he actually calls himself the biggest bird now, so I thought it was kind of ironic. I feel like in 2020 and the beginning of 2021, Summrs made the worst music he's made since around 2017. For me, it wasn't even the quality. It was just the fact that he was trying to make mainstream stuff, and the music was alright. Listen to Intoxicated, his most mainstream album. It's not bad, it just wasn't as good as his other stuff. For Autumn, there's almost the opposite effect because his more mainstream music sounds better than a lot of his plug and B and underground rap music, in my opinion. In 2021, Summrs returned to plug and B and dropped 2 amazing projects, What We Have and Nothing More Nothing Less. Nothing More Nothing Less has no skips. It embodies the classic plug and B sound. It's really catchy and the lyrics have a lot of meaning in it. To me, that's another reason why Summrs is so popular. He's extremely vulnerable in all of his music, to the point where if you've been listening to him for a while, you'll actually know a lot about his life just through the lyrics. From his struggles with addiction to family issues, like when his grandmother passed away, he mentioned her in a bunch of songs, but she was also talked about in songs like Sorry, which came out years earlier. Most recently, Summrs has been dropping good music. I personally enjoyed Fallen Raven, Stuck in My Ways, and Ghost. The only critique that could be made was that he puts too many songs on his albums. They're always 20-track albums, and he used to do that a lot, so it's nothing new. I don't really care. But some of them are like filler tracks that you wouldn't really come back to. I don't really listen to albums front to back anyways. But what I really want to talk about recently is the new persona and all the drama that Summrs' fans have been creating. Starting off with the drugs. Summrs has been off them for years now. Go back to his first official song on SoundCloud. It's literally labeled #perk music. But he wasn't on drugs like that back then. He really started when he got money in 2019, and then he slowly began to gain weight in 2021 and 2022. And that's when fans started clowning him. He has a weird relationship with drugs because a lot of the music that we all love, like Pack Runner, would probably not have been made without his reliance on opiates. But on the flip side, it's gone to the point where it's most likely destructive in his life. But he's an adult, and as long as he's happy, I don't really care. It's just a point of controversy I wanted to touch on. What he's most controversial for and most criticized for is his new persona. And that's his new street persona and how humble he is. Back to when he got arrested, although Jay snitched, he didn't make one good point.
This is the reason I'm in this predicament. You know? Like Reno try to play gangster so much and we're rich. Like Reno want to go do this, then do that, then do this, then do that. At the crib, you're not no thug.
They robbed the plug for $3,000, by the way. Last time I checked, that barely covers Summrs' electricity bill. He has way too much money to be doing any of this stuff. I have no idea why he did that or be taking those type of risks because it's just so asymmetrical. The risk is all the way here and what you gain out of it is nothing. If you were just a regular person, maybe $3,000 would be worth something to you, but you know, it's really not to him. Plus it was probably split with the other guys, his brother, Jace, and whoever the other dude was. He also randomly got into a physical altercation with a random guy in a gas station, which is hilarious, and blended a guy at the club. Look it up on Reddit if you want to watch the video. And he loves to do this thing where he makes Louisiana rap and never drops it. If you're a fan of his, you know what I'm talking about. Most notoriously, since he bought his Maybach, he can't stop flexing to save his life. It's insane. He just wakes up and flexes on his story. So much so that his fans have started to clown on him for it. See what y'all did, bruh? 20k cash don't look like nothing. He can't afford a nail clipper. He's about to drop bank for a manicure now. At this point, I'm certain he's in on the joke. Most humble artist. Why they all say for cinema use, not legal tender. Remember when bro flexed his electricity bill? So this is a real story. He flexed his electricity bill, which is like $2,000. Everybody say that Reno broke. Boy, this is my electricity bill. You wouldn't be able to keep up in my shoes. As a homeowner myself, this is not a flex. Bro has something running in the crib 24/7. How he thought this was a flex is beyond me. Bro hasn't turned off his light in years. Bro running a sweatshop in his basement. So insecure. Bro scared of the dark. Is Summrs poor? He doesn't even have an OLED TV. So Summrs also hates his fan base, probably because of stuff like you just saw in the Reddit post I just showed you. So I somewhat understand. Summrs fans are like when you're in middle school and half the kids can't stop making gay jokes. He actually hates when fans make those type of jokes. Sometimes they're just worried for him though, I guess. But let me show you some examples of fans on the Reddit just acting out of pocket. I would hate my fan base too if they acted like this. The biggest bird literally responds to fat allegations. Built like the big red bird on Angry Birds, even got the attitude too. Bird business. Bro, imagine blowing raspberries on his belly. Yo, that is so weird. Why would you say that? Bro quoted a Lucky lyric as his reason for gaining weight. You can't make this up. Damn, bro looks like Lucky now. He looks submissive on this. I think I now fully understand why Reno hates you guys. This is so weird to post. Like, why does this have 118 upvotes? This is the worst fit pic of all time. He's not robbing anyone. Summrs' hand softer than my nails actually disgusting. Trim them nails, Reno. Jesus, you got a woman's touch. I'm saying, bro need to slang a pack. Throw some hands or some. This guy doesn't lift anything but his purse and double cup. Okay, this one is so weird. Someone made a meme called 3 stages of a real struggle, grind. Yo, what? Bro, who took the time to make this? This is... Alright, that's enough Reddit for today. So stuff like this is just so weird. You can understand why he hates his fans. But it's similar to Cardi, where stuff like this makes his fan base way stronger than the average artist. So finally, Summrs' influence. He's very influential, obviously. He pretty much created Plug & B, and all the Plug & B you hear today, even if you don't agree he made Plug & B, would probably not be around if he hadn't popularized it, at least. He's also literally influential. There are definitely some kids that start sipping lean and popping pills just because they want to be like Summrs.
Drugs not good. Like, that shit not fun. Like, for real. Like, when you really deep in drugs, like, that shit not fun.
Don't do that shit, kids.
And I know, like, I'm a big reason why some of these people be like want to pour up and shit. Like, y'all don't need to do that.
How, you know, that's a very touchy subject. You know,
I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say in our little scene.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Our fans, like,
I'm sure you've inspired kids to get high before. Yeah. Like,
I mean, I tell them drugs not good.
That's it.
Yep.
Just don't do drugs.
He's even said it himself and says he doesn't condone it. So yeah, don't do that stuff. Overall, Summrs going from an innocent kid to who he is now is pretty wild. I could have never imagined this trajectory, even in the very beginning of 2020. And I can't imagine what it would be like if you're a fan of him in 2018 or 2019. He went from a regular kid to this. That's all for today. I'm Rashad Fashir. Have a nice day and see you next time.